let's meet your Houston Rockets.
We've got NBA basketball in store for you here in Houston, Texas, the home of the Rockets, live on 2K Sports. Well, the holidays always bring us some incredible NBA action. That's certainly what we have in store for us today. For Kyle Korver. Just over 3.5 minutes gone here in the first. Well, looking back on last season, you didn't know where the Rockets would end up in terms of seeding in the playoffs. Ended up with the 2 seed because they won the Southwest Division. And as it turned out, everything worked out very well for them.
It really did, and had a divisional matchup in that first round against the Mavs. But the Rockets took care of business in that series and would advance.
And so in the game for the Hawks, Millsap at power forward with Horford at the center. Teague out there with Freak, and it's Bazemore at the small forward position.
And, you know, for the Rockets, they had a major gut check in the second round. Went down 3-1 against the Clippers. Came back to win the series in 7, including Game 6, when I dozed off when they were trailing by 19 in the 4th and was shocked to wake up in the morning and see they had forced the 7th game.
All right, a chance to check out stats for Harden. A wonderful string of games he's put together here lately. 6th in assists and ranked among the top 10 in scoring. He can fill it up with the best of them.
And, you know, his floor awareness, undeniable. You know, as you pointed out, he's great at drawing the defense and then making the perfect pass in stride.
And with the Rockets' last postseason, their trip to the conference finals was as far as they would go. Went out to the Warriors in 5 games. Most of them, though, close ones. I think most fans were pleased with how far the team went last year in spite of all the injuries.
And Bazemore kicks to Freak. Trains the three-pointer. Harden with it. He's coming off a 34-point game against the Pelicans in New Orleans. Beasley. Then for the Hawks. Splitter is checked in for Horford. Scott comes in for Paul. Now here's Freak, guarded by Harden.
Down low, and I really thought he would be.
You know, at first glance, you wouldn't think that he'd be comfortable in that particular situation, but, well, I tell you what, he didn't look like he was out of his element at all right there.
Lock at 6. Here's Beverly. Gets to the rim for 2 with the D all over him. Beverly's got his 2nd bucket.
Now, that's a killer crossover. The defender got totally shook up by that move.
And continuing to expand his arsenal last season, Patrick Beverly, the guard for the Rockets. Career highs in assists and rebounds per game, and he's one of the smallest guys on the floor.
Yeah, and he's really working on the details of becoming a better playmaker, becoming a guy that has coaches trust him to handle the basketball in those crucial situations.
Kept alive. Splitter, that's good.
Really strong rebounding on the interior, and he gets the easy putback.
Rockets trail by 4. Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Yes, Kevin, I was able to catch up with the head coach for the Rockets just a moment ago. This is the first meeting between these 2 teams this year, but he knows the drill defensively. Keep them out of the lane. He said they're tough to deal with when you let them get to the rim. We've got to move our feet and do our best to deny that penetration. Kevin, easier said than done.
And thank you, Doris. Beverly dishes to Moniunas. Scott pulls
Going to get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket, but on that one, they were there.
Last season, Atlanta showed just how much fun a team can have playing team basketball, a complete team effort. We use that word a lot. You don't see it much in the NBA, but boy, they epitomized it, Clark.
Yeah, they sure did. Refreshing to see a team do that well collectively without a real superstar. Just a solid group that understood their roles and played them perfectly.
The Rockets making a switch here. Goudlock is checked in. Here's Beverly. It's good. The assist that time from Harden. Beverly's got 6 points. And here's Atlanta. They're on a 14-4 run right now. 5 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. He makes another one. That's 4 up and 4 in to start his game.
Really aggressive play there, taking it to the rack against the big fella.
You know, Greg, aggressiveness is really the only option when you're on the wrong side of the size equation.
It's Harden with the drive, and the refs are going to rule that unnecessary contact. It's a flagrant 1 foul.
And, Kevin, that's a pretty dangerous play right there. I mean, I don't like to see a player put an opponent in harm's way, as much as you just saw him do there. Glad they pinned a flagrant on it.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. The officials were all over it. They weren't going to let him off the hook that time. Harden hits them both.
And that's the norm for him. He's pretty much automatic when he's at the line.
With one on the clock. And a chance now to hear from Paul Millsap talking about the confidence of his team. Greg, it's got to be more than just attitude, right? I mean, ultimately, go for the Rockets. Capella's checked in, and Smith subbed in for Jones. On the court for Atlanta, Freak in at shooting guard. Splitter is out there with Scott. Then there's Dennis Schroeder, and it's Cephalosha in at the 3.
Move the ball. Stick it front.
And that one's good. Freak. Freak's got 14 points.
Not much the defense can do once he gets to the bucket.
While we have a break in the action, now let's check out the league's best shooting teams. The Hawks, number 1. Fifth best, the Rockets.
And here we've got two teams so well on the season, and neither one hesitates to pull the trigger. This is a great matchup.
Here's Beverly. He has 6. Screen by Smith from deep. Harden. No good, and he's 3 of 6 from the floor. Fast break here. Here come the Hawks. Cephalosha's shot is good. Cephalosha's got his first points in this one.
I like the fact that he led his teammate right to the ideal spot. You don't always throw it to your teammate. You throw it to where he needs to be.
The offensive rebound, Capella. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Yeah, good job to take it right at the D.
Yeah, really left him no choice there, Greg. He had to foul and keep him from converting the easy bucket.
And a moment here to take a look at the scoring breakdown for the Hawks.
Boy, the three-point shot has really been dropping for him early on.
And also, it's been a positive to watch that they've attacked the paint offensively as well. It's really been about the balance that they've shown.
Pass to Splitter. Down low. And Freak gets it to go on the assist by Splitter. 16 points for Freak.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
That's 4 straight field goals now, Greg, they've allowed from point-blank range. Can't happen. Big enough to maintain position down low on a consistent basis and not quick enough to really be a 3-man or small forward, but what he can do is get to the basket, rebound okay, and knock down the deep shot.
A slight advantage for them in the rebound department, but that oftentimes is all it takes.
Especially, Greg, when you're scoring the ball at a decent clip the way they have. I mean, they've done exactly what's necessary to take the lead.
Now here's Beverly. He's tightly guarded. The feed now to Moniunas. 5 on the clock. Here's Gaudlock. And it's Freak with the rebound.
And getting back to Mike Scott, his three-point percentage and attempts have increased each year he's been in the league. With a high, quick release, he's capable of making tough shots with a hand in his face in a way other players simply can't.
What are you doing? Stay down. Stay down.
For Houston, they had shot 8 of 10 from the line. That's an even 80% free throw shooting here. He's off on the first. Trevor Ariza's checked in for Gaudlock. He doesn't get the second one. Here's Atlanta now. They're on a 12-4 run right now. Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Well, Kev, Freak in the last matchup against the Pacers, boy, was he tremendous. He had 18 points, and he was a thief out there as well, adding a hefty amount of steals to his total. He was just too much to handle as he came off the bench to turn in a great outing, guys. They hope it continues.
All right, Doris, thanks so much for the report. You had to just marvel guys at what he was able to do that night, didn't you?
You know what? It was the game of basketball being played at its highest level. No question who their MVP was in that one.
No question whatsoever, Greg. I mean, that's a performance he and his fans will remember for a long, long time.
And I love the fact that he didn't have to slow down or adjust there. The pass was just timed perfect.
8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Over to the wing, puts up a three. It's good for his 8th consecutive basket in only 8 tries. Wow.
Kevin, he's definitely making his presence felt here in the first half. He's been very effective so far.
Harden outside. He feeds it to Beverly. Good. It's Harden with the assist that time. Harden's got 5 assists tonight.
Tit for tat right there, huh, guys?
Didn't take him long at all, fellas, to get those 3 points back.
And so we wrap up the first half. Hawks lead by 10. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Well, James, throughout the first half, you struggled with turnovers. Is keeping better control of the ball a major focus for the second half?
Yeah, that's still too many turnovers, especially on forced turnovers. So we got to really lock in on our turnovers, make the right play at all times.
And now the third quarter about to get going. You look at Freak in this game. Houston making some changes. Smith comes in for Dwight Howard. And Jones subbed in for Michael Beasley. Atlanta also making some changes here. Thabo Sefolosha has checked in for Kent Bazemore. And Freak subbed in for Kyle Korver. Ariza and Jones at the small and power forward. Beverly and Harden, they're the backcourt. And it's Smith in at the center, filling out the middle. That's the 5 for Houston right now.
And guys, you got to love the front court for these Atlanta Hawks. I mean, Al Horford and Paul Millsap both give up a few inches in terms of height, but you won't find a more skilled and versatile front court in the NBA.
Ariza passes to Beverly. No good there, and that would have cut it to single digits. The Atlanta Hawks come into this one following a loss to Indiana.
And guys, just look at the turnover stats in that game. You're not going to win giving it up as many times as they did.
Not unless you play an even tougher brand of defense on your end and force more turnovers for the other side. That's the only way you're going to get that thing squared away.
Screen by Smith. Ariza has the open look. Good. It's Harden with the assist that time. And it's 7 points for Trevor Ariza. To the left side wing. T kicks to Sefolosha. The kick out to T. 6 to shoot. Shoots from the line. It's rebounded by Houston. Defeated by the Pelicans in their last game. They'll try to put that one behind them.
Yeah, it's just hard to make up when you have an inability to make free throws consistently, and that's why they ended up losing.
Yes, sir. I think some doubt started to creep in when they kept missing those foul shots. I mean, you could see them start to shy away from wanting to even go to the line.
And Beverly kicks to Harden. Pass to Ariza. Dishes to Jones. With the floater. That one's in there. The Hawks lead is cut down to just 12 points on the bucket from Beverly.
And the shooting has really been there for him today, but he may have to take it upon himself to continue to carry this team and try and get out of this hole.
It's sticking too much.
Over to the left wing. And there's Horford. That's good on the assist by Freak. Horford's got the lead up to 14 now for the Hawks. Smith with a screen on Teague. Millsap with the steal. And a wide open look for Freak. And again, it's Atlanta. And a closer look here at the hustle stats for Atlanta.
The activity level defensively, I've really been impressed with. There's been an attack mode on the defensive end.
They haven't wasted time getting the ball up the court tonight either, and it's resulted in a lot of fast break points.
Teague dishes to Freak. And again, it's Atlanta.
Nice pass that time. What excellent vision by Jeff Teague out there.
Rockets trail by 18. Smith sets the pick for Harden. To the inside. The shot's good from Smith. Smith's got 6 points.
That was some slick passing from Harden on that one.
There's 37 seconds left to play in the third. Horford's shot is good.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
You know, the defense, Greg, has really been kept off balance because of the outstanding passes. 4 straight field goals have been made off an assist.
A reason or what?
That's something they need to do more of. Get after it on the glass. Go get those boards.
Clark, it wouldn't hurt. Some extra possessions would definitely help narrow the gap and maybe swing the momentum.
Smith right side, uncovered. Here's Beverly. That misses. Would have counted had it gone in. And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. It's Atlanta. They lead by 18. And time to step aside quickly, but we'll be back in no time with the start of the fourth quarter. And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the fourth. Changes. Capella's checked in, and Jones subbed in for Patrick Beverly. Then for the Hawks, Al Horford. He's checked in for Splitter. Millsap comes in for Mike Scott, and Freak subbed in for Dennis Schroeder. On the court for Atlanta, Millsap at power forward with Horford at the center. Freak is out there with Kyle Korver, and it's Bazemore at the 3 spot. All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Hey, Kevin. Well, the Rockets coach had some advice for the team over that last break. He told them, hey, guys, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. We're still alive in this thing. All we need to do is rely on each other. Let's stay aggressive, stick together, and play as a team. We're coming back. Back to you, Kevin.
Another pass put right into the shooter's pocket, right in the shooting pocket for a terrific assist. They've done a lot of that today.
And it's something we haven't seen much of at the opposite end of the floor.
Freak with it, and it's Harden picking him up. Millsap, foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And he isn't the biggest body at 6'8", Clark, but Paul Millsap, very effective.
And part of his being underrated and underestimated, I think, is due to that size. But folks are finally starting to come around. That kind of production he's put up will make that happen.
And Millsap, with over a 7-foot wingspan and also just a great nose for the ball. He gets you rebounds, blocks, and he leads all power forwards in steals pretty much every season. Yeah, that's a difficult shot in the face of a defender that towers over him.
You know, guys sometimes love proving people wrong. You know that from guys you've played with. And, Greg, this mismatch gives him an opportunity to quiet the haters and naysayers.
Yeah, okay.
Here's Beverly, rebounded by the Hawks. They led by as many as 18 points.
And speaking of Millsap's defense, I mean, he can switch out and cover perimeter players as well. His smaller stature gives him that versatility, but then the long wingspan allows him to still bang with the biggies. And you saw how quick the defense was. They were ready for him. They got the hand in the face there and made that much more difficult.
Yeah, and every team needs that kind of rugged interior defense because you want to try to distract your opponents when they get inside, and you also want to make them uncomfortable in their shot attempts.
Out of bounds, Rockets ball as Houston keeps possession. Left here in the fourth quarter. That's good.
You know, the defense has got to do a much better job of fighting over those screens.
And, Greg, especially when the ball is in his hands. I mean, come on now. You know he doesn't miss too many open looks like that.
And so it's the Hawks taking care of business in this one. And in the win, a comfortable win in what was, I think, a pretty hostile environment.
It really was. You know, it's never going to be easy on the road, but they didn't have too many problems with that tonight.